Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Paul, and in this channel, over things that I'm curious about and things I've looked into, I like to share. So, in today's video, I wanted to bring up a conversation on two topics that I know that a lot of people struggle on in relation to making time for them, and they kind of work in the same manner. And the example that I'm going to give is relevant to both of them. So, I hope this helps. So the two things that I hear a lot of people struggling with is making time to read or making time to pray. And to me, both of these activities have to do with the same reason on why they don't get done. And both of these have the same idea in mind on how to execute them and how to make them happen. So one of the largest reasons, or one of the most common reasons, I should say, for why people say that they don't read is because they don't have time to read, right? They can't sit around and read all day. And one of the perspectives that I want to give you on how I view reading is this. If you read any biography or any work that someone has taken, 5, 10, 20 years to work on, and they put it in a book, whether it's on health, whether it's on business, whether it's a biography, whether it's, a fictional piece of whatever. The way that I view it is like a appointment to go talk with that person. So like, let's even say it's a piece of fiction, like a work of fiction. People tell stories all the time. We sit around and listen to them. Well, what if there was a story that had 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 people saying, hey, this is a good story? We listen to a lot of stories that just aren't that good. Our friends will tell us different things. Sometimes it's drama, sometimes it's completely useless, but we listen to stories all the time. Well, what if you were to go sit with a person for an hour and they were to tell you amazing stories, right? That's all sitting down to read is. What if the person put their book or their life in a book with a biography? Okay, well, we listen to people tell stories about their lives all the time. Go take an hour and go listen to this person tell their story. That's what reading is. It's a conversation between you and the author. And depending on how good they are is depending on how much you will determine how much you interact with the book. But if you can start viewing reading as an interaction between you and the author, instead of just, oh, words on a page, and oh, I don't have time to sit down and read words on a page. No. What if you had to go spend an hour because this really famous person or this really knowledgeable person was trying to teach you something? Well, then that totally changes the game. If you had someone from your community who you really respect, maybe they're really well known or really wealthy or really whatever, talented or whatever, they're like, hey, Johnny, I want to come and spend time with you. I want to come spend time with you. I want to come talk to you for an hour. We would drop everything. That's why I know that reading is not about not having time. It's about how we view it and the perspective in which we see reading as. It's just words on a page. I don't have time to do that. It's completely different. Now, as I was thinking about this, because I was mainly going to do this just on reading, but the same thing can be applied to praying. I don't have time to pray. Well, this one's the most absurd of them all, especially because there's not one way that we can pray. There's pretty much one way that you can read. I mean, technically not, but there's pretty much one way. You got to sit down, you got to see words on the page. If you praying, you can take a second, you can take 10 minutes, you can take 24 hours. It don't matter. You can take however long you want. But when most people talk about not having time, they're talking about the extended, amount of time for prayer. So to this one, let's go back to our example with an interaction and communicating with people. Well, this is the one that I can most accurately say. If the president of the United States would say, hey, Johnny, hey, Sarah, I want to come meet with you today. Can you make room in your schedule? Everyone knows. I mean, maybe unless you hate the president, but I mean, everyone is going to not only make time, but they're going to clear their schedule. They're going to say, hey, everything else that I have to do that's not nearly as important. The president wants to see me today. The president wants to speak with me. Now, how much more for the king of the universe? how much more for that? How much more for him when he's like, hey, I want to spend time with you. Can you come talk to me for like 5 minutes, for 2 minutes, for 10 minutes? Oh, but I don't have time. I don't have time to pray. I don't have time to read. See, I think it's because we view these things in the wrong light. It's not that we don't have time, it's what we view them as, because we have plenty of time. If you ever seen how much you're just chilling, talking about nothing with people, which that's okay. I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all. If we see how much we lollygag around, wasting time just doing whatever, see how much time we spend on social media. I mean, just all these different things. And actually, I do think those things are important. I'm not speaking down on them. I think they are important for brain breaks. But do we need brain breaks half the day? That's the question. So next time you're thinking about, oh, I don't have time to read. Oh, I don't have time to pray. And whatever other thing that you put the idea of, I don't have time for whatever thing, start thinking about that. Is it I don't have time? Or is it I'm not making time because of how I view the thing? It's not important enough for me to make the time. Because if someone wanted to come see me in person, oh, I'd make the time. All of a sudden, there'd be time on my schedule, even if it's only 10 minutes. So start changing your perspective on whatever thing it is that you're saying, oh, I don't have time to do X, Y, and Z. But I'm doing this in light of reading and praying, two of which, both of these things, I think are extremely important to be doing daily. So yeah, wanted to give you that perspective on that. Let me know if that was helpful at all, if that was a different perspective, if you've thought of reading or praying in that manner at all. Okay. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.